Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT News with Sao Paulo. Kickoff coming up very soon indeed. On the 13th of February, it begins in just a couple of days' time. Rumours emerging from 100 Thieves Stellar that NRG are absolutely insane and are certainly the team to beat from the North American region. He even believes they're better with Ardiis than they were with Yay. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. First of all, quickly on DRX, we know what their team might be. The rumour we believe is going to be that they've got Zest in the team here. We believe they're going to run Foxy 9 most of the time, and then they're going to make some changes on certain situations, so we'll see about that one. But just wanted to note on DRX, because they kind of are running a bit of a six-man setup over there at that organisation. Also, from the Asia-Pacific region, challenges Japan at the first split. The playoffs are coming up relatively soon, the 18th and the 19th of March, Saturday, Sunday. The location has now been set. If you guys want to attend, having to be in Japan, or just want to go there for the Challengers Finals, that'd be pretty lit, I'm sure. Tickets are now available. Thought this is also quite funny here from Sentinels, as TenZ says, think I have beat my personal best record of not changing my sensitivity. So I think it was a couple of weeks ago now, TenZ said, I'm not changing my sense anymore, you know, I'm done with doing this, and you know, it's time to actually stick to one sense and get better. Probably inspired by Psycho saying, look, TenZ, you've got to stick to one sense and give it a go. And obviously they're kind of joking around here with days without changing sense one, but you know, maybe TenZ is going to hit new levels as a result of this. Are they the best team in North America though? More than likely not at the moment, especially if what 100 Thieves Stellar has to say might well be accurate. Wanted to give some updates as well on the Game Changers side, just because we talked about loads of drama in Game Changers yesterday, some players getting banned and all this. Like, it was an absolute wild day in the Game Changers region. We also have from Carmine Corp, they've confirmed their new Game Changers roster. So GC is getting ready to go again. They've changed, I believe, the process for how you sign up for this, just because we saw that certain players, obviously the system is, it's a tricky subject, right, with players that can, let's just say, you know, pretend they're non-binary to play in Game Changers. It happened, players got banned for it, suspended, all this stuff as we saw yesterday. This is now the new eligibility verification system, and obviously it's tricky to make these calls, and it's always going to be subjective to an extent, but this is what VALORANT now wants potential Game Changers players to do. So fill out a form with several different options to provide evidence of their identity. Options will include providing a photo ID with a gender sex marker, affirming doctor's note, or a well-established social media account with a public track record of that player's identity. Alternatively, players can choose to verify through a voice chat with the staff. So I don't imagine the voice chat's going to be the actual content of your voice, rather than kind of, you know, talking to them about what you say. I don't know. Tricky subject, to be honest, to make sure that you get it right. Maybe this is a better way to approach it than before, because, you know, I think previously it was kind of open to too much interpretation that obviously some players decided to abuse. Also wanted to mention this just as a word of warning to you guys, because I know that all the pro players lately have been tweeting something like this, and look, Evil Geniuses, we don't know how much salary the players are getting paid, more than likely less than some of the other top North American teams, so, you know, they probably need some extra money from these skin bundles. But as Com says here from Evil Geniuses, this new VCT bundle might be the best bundle to come out yet. This knife is a big difference maker, he says, and as Vanity's like, Lil Bro's trying to get paid, and the same thing that Ethan does, and basically says that this new VCT bundle gives you an extra 10% RNG buff on top of what's already in the game. Keep it on the download, please. Wilkins like, is it true the knife insta-kills when I look at someone at any range? And Ethan's like, yes. So, yeah, basically what he's trying to do here, just be a little bit careful, because obviously there's no advantage for these new skins, but the money from the skins goes to, in part, eventually to the players. So if you want to buy it, sure, but don't expect any actual advantage from utilizing this stuff. Let's talk then about the state of North American VALORANT and which team should be the favorites. I would say going into the tourney, the 100 Thieves have certainly got to be in the conversation. They also have arguably an easier bracket than some of the other teams there as well. They play Edward Gaming round 1. They, of course, should be favored there theoretically. But there's other teams in the world that he reckons do not sleep on at all and could be very strong. So in North America, we know that NRG should be very good. They have basically the OpTic core of previous, but no Marved, no Yay. So if anything, the team gets rid of Marv, gets rid of Yay. Not necessarily gets rid of, but Yay got poached and Marv decided not to play. So, you know, they were arguably their two best players. Will they get significantly worse as a result? Stellar highly disagrees with this assessment. Now, maybe this is classic VALORANT Pro saying, oh yeah, they're just so good, they're not going to lose a round, they're going to win the tournament hands down. But I think Stellar's a pretty straight up guy, and I don't think he would say this unless he actually believed it. These are his words on the subject. Koi looks pretty underrated, and NRG are insane. insane. We've scrimmed them. They're a nutty team. They're still really good. They look even better with Ardiis, in my opinion, but Koi on paper look really good too, at least from what I've looked at. So quite the statement, right? The fact that NRG, their new roster, of course, FNS, Victor, Crashies, with ShahZaM now, but also Ardiis, look even better than they did before. Like, even, basically what he's saying is they look better than OpTic, right? Because obviously previously they had Yay and Marved, and he's now saying that that core, that team that's now under NRG that was previously OpTic, looks better with Ardiis. So, you know, he reckons that NRG are better than OpTic, which is quite the statement to make, especially if this turns out to be true in some respects, just because we have seen from other professionals, the likes of Nismo, that said recently that NRG are the team to beat, and even Steel said it, that NRG are the team to beat from their experience practicing against these guys in the North American side. Now, there's been some differing opinions on whether NRG are first and Sentinels are second, or whether NRG are first and 100 Thieves are second, and Sentinels are fourth, but, you know, Evil Geniuses are the common fifth team in everyone's analysis here. But, yeah, NRG might well be the best North American team. And if you're the best NA team, as OpTic were previously, then you're always going to be in with a shot to win the tournament. And they don't quite have as hard of a bracket, I don't believe, as Cloud9 and Sentinels do, for example, who play Paper X and Fnatic in round one, respectively. Now, Koi is another team, of course, with Coldamenta and co, like some previously notable players, still notable, of course, but also Leviathan, because the South American scene has gone through some massive shakeups, right? Of course, with the Brazilian guys going over to Sentinels, and then with Leviathan changing out some guys over there as well. And as Stella says, Leviathan's one team I'm personally excited to see play. I think their lineup looks really solid. I don't think people rate them highly enough, in my opinion. So pretty good words, I thought, from them to, well, from Stella to mention that Koi and Leviathan are teams to stop, but he is, well, pretty clear that NRG are insane and the team to beat. These were Stella's comments actually the other day, who said NRG is the best, then Cloud9, then 100 Thieves, then Sentinels, then EG, from my scrim experience. But it does seem to be a consistent trend that NRG, the former OpTic core, even with no Yay and no Marved, are still the best team. And this is actually quite interesting, right? Because, look, we believed, and I still believe, that Yay and Marved were the two best and most impactful players in that team last year. I'd say Marved was arguably the best player in his particular role in the entire world. If it turns out that this NRG team is like, I don't know if they can be better than OpTic, but even if they can be at a similar level, like in terms of dominance within the North American region, that'd be incredibly impressive, and it would certainly show something in a way about, because of course Yay was super impactful for that team, but if Ardiis can do the same thing, if not better, then that, I mean, obviously with that chamber as well, it's going to be really interesting to see how Yay copes over at Cloud9 compared to how Ardiis might deal with the situation at NRG, because of course that team was set up for Yay's success. The team will now be set up for Ardiis to dominate more than likely on the operator, but obviously it's a different meta nowadays anyway. But yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. Or this is kind of just one of the classics from the North American scene where the players gas up a team massively and it turns out they're good, but they're not actually like crazy good. We'll see at the major, of course. We'll see in Sao Paulo, Brazil. But yeah, lots of confidence that NRG might be better without Yay and Marved, which also means that could Marved return to that team in the future? Maybe not if they're dominating with ShahZaM. So we'll see how that one develops down the line. Let's talk then about the matches that went on last night. A massive result actually between DSG and Mad Lions. This, of course, the former Duck Ratio team. Kind of funny here to see XXIF play up against Zekro, of course, two former Fortnite kids basically that were having a battle on Valorant last night. But DSG got the dub, and this is big down the line. Of course, DSG need to get fourth at the very least in their group to ensure they get to the playoffs. I know a lot of people are rooting for this team, and I think for good reason, and they win this series 2-0 relatively comfortably in the end. Actually, Mad Lions didn't really deliver, as Disguised say GG's Mad Lions 2-0 put these guys straight to sleep, and these were the overall numbers here. So dominance really from DSG, Gangster, Steel and co, like they're absolutely fried. Awesome to see Steel doing well as well, just because I know that a lot of people look at Steel and think, oh, this guy's just a washed up old man, but he's still delivering great performances at a very high level. Fracture was 13-2, Pearl was 13-5. I mean, they wiped the floor with these guys. Not the performance that Mad Lions will, of course, have wanted to see, but a very positive sign for DSG, and winning a 2-0 in this manner definitely raises some, well, interesting questions for how well they can do against the very best in their tier 2 scene. And then we had M80 versus TSM, another game over in that group B of teams that, DSG will have to play at some point or another, and M80 came out on top here. Really close series though. Game 1 was really close. M80 just about got the better of TSM, and then Game 2 was relatively comfortable in the end. We look at the numbers here, 2-0. Game 1, Haven was 14-12, went to overtime. TSM had a nice bounce back on the second half after losing 8-4 before eventually they go down in overtime, and then 13-6 here on the ascent. Like there were some just stellar plays being made here here by the MAT guys. It was kind of beautiful to witness. I don't know that the guards were looking very closely at some of these plays, as I think understandably both of those teams respectively see each other as maybe the biggest threat from their respective group. The groups now though look as follows. So Shopify Rebellion, G2, Breakthrough, Oxygen, FaZe and Turtle Troop, but there are some further games today there in Group A. Group B now looks like this. It's set for the second week of matches. No real surprise that the Guard and M80 are sitting here at 2-0. Both of them, they play I believe sometime in March, actually quite a while from now. And then we've got Disguised, TSM 1-1, Mad Lions or Esports 0-2. But a good start for Disguised, right? Winning that series against Mad Lions was big for them, especially in the fashion in which they did it, because it now puts themselves in a decent spot, at least down the line, to secure fourth place, at least fourth place in this group, if not better. And that will, of course, qualify them for the playoffs, and then they'll go from there. The other two games going on today, though, are as follows. FaZe versus Turtle Troop, former Squirtle squad, happens tonight. Big game for FaZe to bounce back after losing to G2 in their first round. And then G2 versus Breakthrough. That would be if G2 can win that one to go 2-0, then that'll also be a solid start for them as well. Just one final thing to mention before we close out the video. Of course, Lotus has been added into the game relatively recently, and you know, the argument has been here from some of the guys on the broadcast talent, especially from Mitchman, that more than likely we might not see Lotus at all, especially in single elimination, because teams might not want to play it in single elim, as it's a brand new map that nobody really knows particularly well. So hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.